According to fans of Real Housewives of New Jersey, Louie Ruelas is repulsive since he is dating his 4 stepdaughters. It was on his wife Teresa Judas's podcast, Turning the Tables, that the contentious issue was discussed among the controversy. What exactly was the topic of conversation? And does he have a romantic relationship with Milania, Gia, Adriana, or Gabriella? Continue reading for further information. What do fans of Real Housewives of New Jersey think about Louie Ruelas dating stepdaughters? Since quite some time ago, Louie Ruelas has not been a fan favorite among fans. Ever since the 49-year-old man entered Teresa Judas's life, there has been a certain amount of mystery around him. Even though he claimed to be into Zen and relaxing, he surely knew how to wound her up and vice versa. He had her in a love bubble, even though he claimed to be into Zen and calming. When Louie said that he had worn the pajamas that Teresa's late father had worn, things began to take an odd turn. After that, he asserted that he had a well-known private investigator named Bo Dietl looking into the whole cast of Real Housewives of New Jersey and that he had dirt on all of Teresa's co-stars. In addition to that, that was more than enough to make stomachs turn. It has come to light that something new has been disclosed, and for some people, it is very unsettling. It would appear that Teresa's producer expressed his feelings of affection for Louie. He also talked about how wonderful Louie is as a stepfather to Teresa's 4 daughters, Milania, Gia, Gabriella, and Adriana. In addition to that, he mentioned those things. The following is what the producer Pat had to say, as reported by Monsters and Critics. I don't know if you want me to say this or not, but I think it's really nice that he and the females go out on date nights separately and just spend time together. That's the coolest thing that could possibly happen. Pat was able to acquire this information after spending a few days with the family and interacting with them. He remarked that it was obvious that the girls love Louie, and that the emotion is reciprocal between them. A prompt response was provided by Teresa, who stated, "I am aware that he causes me to feel awful because then I am like, I have to do that too." The fans who heard this were given a creepier sense by Louie Ruelas, despite the fact that it might sound pleasant in principle. Would you like to go on a date with the daughters? Does it seem correct to me? If that is the case, then that is revolting. At all times, attempting to sell Louie. I am dressed in the pajamas that your father has given me. I am in a relationship with your nieces. The excessive step, the phrase date night, was the one that really got people excited about the topic. They were of the opinion that Louie Ruelas' use of that phrase with his stepdaughters came off as inappropriate. In addition to this, the fact that Teresa Judas was comfortable with that was an even more significant issue. The fact that Teresa answered, "I don't mind," in a low voice, reveals a great deal more about her feelings regarding Louie's date evenings with the daughters than she is aware of. In addition to this, there was the notion that everyone needed to continue marketing Louie as this incredible individual. When someone is really outstanding, there is no need to constantly boast about them. Just because they are good is not enough. Finally, there was a question regarding the identity of Pat, the producer. Because he had to utter these niceties, some people questioned whether or not he was on Teresa's salary. Do you think it would be a good idea for Louie to take the stepdaughters out on date nights? Are we going to go too far with this? When it comes to the Real Housewives of New Jersey, drama isn't just expected, it's practically a requirement. Teresa Judas and her husband Louie Ruelas have been at the center of countless scandals since tying the knot in 2022. But the latest swirl of chatter from fans may be the most eyebrow-raising yet. Social media has erupted with accusations and speculation, with some fans calling Louie repulsive over rumors that suggest he may be too close to his stepdaughters. Though there's no evidence of anything beyond awkward optics, the whispers have spread like wildfire across Bravo fan circles. And in the world of RHONJ, perception can quickly become reality, whether it's true or not. Where the rumors began. The drama kicked off after a series of family photos and videos featuring Louis with Teresa's daughters, Gia, Gabriella, Melania, and Adriana, circulated online. In particular, fans noted how Louis seemed overly affectionate in some moments, especially with Gia and Melania, the two daughters most often in the public eye. One fan commented bluntly, "Why is Louis acting like he's dating Gia instead of being her stepdad? It's giving repulsive vibes." Another chimed in, "Teresa needs to wake up. This is not normal behavior." It didn't take long before the chatter ballooned into a trending topic across Bravo Twitter and Reddit, with entire threads dedicated to dissecting Louis's body language, comments, and interactions with his stepdaughters. Louis's reputation problem. Part of why this rumor gained traction so quickly is because Louis already carries a reputation that fans love to dissect. From his infamous shirtless warrior camp video to the explosive accusations made by his exes, Louis has struggled to shake an image of being manipulative and controlling. On Rhobh, cast members like Joe and Melissa Gorga, Margaret Josephs, and even Jackie Goldschneider have questioned his intentions, calling out red flags in his behavior. And while Teresa fiercely defends her husband at every turn, Bravo viewers remain skeptical. Louis doesn't get the benefit of the doubt, one fan wrote. Every time he's around the girls, it feels off. Maybe it's innocent, but the optics are terrible. Teresa's fierce defense. True to form, Teresa has wasted no time standing by her man. Sources close to that Rhobh star say she's furious about the accusations, dismissing them as yet another attempt to tear down her marriage. Teresa believes Louis is a devoted stepfather who has gone above and beyond to be there for her daughters, one insider told a Bravo blog. She sees nothing inappropriate about his closeness to them. In her mind, it's just love and family. On Instagram Live, Teresa even addressed the issue indirectly, saying, "People will always try to bring us down. But my daughters love Louis, and he loves them. That's all that matters." Still, fans weren't convinced. Comments poured in calling her response naive and defensive. The stepdad dynamic. Blended families are complicated, and Louis has had to navigate his role as stepfather in the spotlight. When he married Teresa, he inherited not only her 4 daughters, but also the legacy of Joe Judas, their biological father, who remains involved in their lives despite living abroad. For some viewers, Louis's eagerness to fill the father figure role has been a little too much, too fast. His habit of making grand, emotional declarations about the girls, like calling them "my daughters" in interviews, has fueled debate about whether he's crossing boundaries. It's like he wants to replace Joe, not just support Teresa, one Redditor observed. That's where it gets weird. The social media firestorm. As the rumors spread, social media lit up with memes, hot takes, and armchair psychology. One viral tweet read, Ruelas gives me the ick. Sorry, but his stepdad energy feels more like wannabe boyfriend energy. Repulsive. Another user joked, every time Louis looks at Gia, I hear the Law and Order SVU theme music. On Bravo fan podcasts, the debate has become a hot topic. Hosts dissect screenshots and freeze frames, analyzing Louis's smiles and hand placements like they're evidence in a courtroom. The daughters' silence. Interestingly, Teresa's daughters have remained silent on the matter. Gia, now 23 and carving out her own career, has often been vocal in defense of her mom, clapping back at critics online. But on this subject, she hasn't addressed the rumors directly. Some fans interpret the silence as telling, while others argue it's proof the speculation is baseless. If Gia thought something was off, she'd say it, one supporter noted. She's not shy about speaking her mind. Melania and Adriana, who are more private, have stayed completely out of the chatter. Gabriella, the most reserved of the sisters, hasn't spoken publicly at all. Bravo co-stars react. Although none of Teresa's castmates have addressed the rumors outright, subtle shade has been thrown. Margaret Josephs, who has clashed with Louis before, tweeted cryptically, "Some things just don't pass the smell test." Fans immediately interpreted it as a dig at Louis. Melissa Gorga, still estranged from Teresa, avoided direct comment but liked a post that read, "Protect your kids at all costs." Tamra Judge from RHOC, never one to hold her tongue, even weighed in during a podcast appearance. Louis just gives off weird vibes. Period. Fans aren't imagining it. The bigger question. The uproar raises a broader issue about Bravo families. Where is the line between showing love and being too close? For some, Louis's actions represent genuine affection and commitment. For others, they trigger alarm bells about blurred boundaries. Ultimately, the debate says as much about fan distrust of Louis as it does about his actual behavior. In the court of Bravo opinion, perception often matters more than facts. What's next for Teresa and Louis? The controversy puts Teresa in a familiar position, defending her husband against an avalanche of criticism. Whether she doubles down or finally addresses fans' concerns head-on remains to be seen. For Louis, the pressure is mounting. If he wants to shed the repulsive label, he'll need to be more mindful of how his actions appear to viewers, especially in a world where every hug, glance, and word is dissected frame by frame. One Bravo insider summed it up. Louis may genuinely love those girls like his own. But the reality is, this is Housewives. Optics are everything, and right now, the optics are not good. Final thoughts. Are the accusations fair, or are fans letting their dislike of Louis cloud their judgment? Either way, the repulsive label has stuck, and in the Bravo universe, reputation is hard to shake. For Teresa, whose loyalty to Louis is unwavering, the storm may just be another hurdle in her long history of defending her men. For Louis, however, it's a stark reminder that when you marry into that RHO energy world, every move, especially around your stepdaughters, will be watched, judged, and turned into drama.